Chapter 5. 8 days. He gave her and her sisters 8 days. 8 days to figure out just what took place, why it happened, and how it could be undone. Because 8 days ago, Mejibu was to be Dainu no more. But the ritual of Zushai was interrupted by unseen forces. So, the transfer of power for now has been postponed. The unthinkable has happened and it must be sorted out. The future of Moja is now in danger. And with that on his mind, the Dainu has given the Leiboni exactly 8 days. 8 days to go over every bit of text scribed on their precious fig tree bark scrolls. 8 days to consult the bones, the tea leaves, and the stars. He needed to know what took place. He needed the High Diviner, Zari, to figure out just where the sacred heart of Inamdi was. Most importantly, he needed to know how she planned to retrieve it. So, the Dainu, followed by his successor, Juele, crossed the royal courtyard to the dwelling of the Leiboni. Mejibu's mind swam with scenarios of all sorts, thoughts of betrayal, countless plots and schemes. There are many groups lurking in the shadows of Moja that would love to overthrow the way of Kajama. They would relish in the opportunity to remold Moja into their own version of a better world. This was a matter of truth he could never overlook. Even without the heart of Inamdi, Mejibu maintained enough of the jewel's incredible mystical powers to defend Moja for 1,000 years, maybe more. Still, for Moja to remain the paradise that Kuinu, Kajama envisioned a lifetime ago, the heart of Inamdi must be recovered. The Dainu and the heir apparent Juele entered the Inkajijik of the Leiboni. The Dainu made a straight beeline to the High Diviner, Yezari, while Jawarle very quietly found a place off to the side to observe and listen. Though the Mejibu's mind was vexed, the Dainu showed no signs of it on his face or in his voice. "What have you learned, High Diviner?" The High Diviner of the Leiboni stood before him with her trusted child, Mage, Sahita, by her side. It was deathly quiet in the medium-sized chamber, so Mejibu's words filled the air. Yezari was looking deep into a blazing fire, surrounded by ancient tribal ruins carved into the stone floor. From the lack of movement, one would think the Leiboni did not hear her lord. But the Dainu knew better. She slowly raised her head, and their eyes met. "I do," answered the High Diviner in an old sultry voice. "And something tells me, my Dainu, you may know as well." Mejibu gave the slightest nod, and the High Diviner continued. "Unknown to the general population, the heart of Inamdi came to the Honorable Kuinu in a time of great need, after his visions of the horrors that would befall Moja and her people." The High Diviner, Yezari, waved her hand over the fire, causing it to dance outward. "And after all the time that has since passed, not even our wisest and most studied Leiboni could determine the depth of its power, or from whence it came. A few believed it was birth from the planet itself, but not I. I and a few Leiboni elders believe that the jewel is not of this world, or even this time. We believe it comes from a place of archaic continuation we are simply too young to grasp." She paused, once more facing the Dainu full on, then continued. "We believe that it was Akuinu's desire and passion to save Moja that originally brought the jewel here." The Dainu took a step forward, closing the gap between the High Diviner and himself, so only she could hear his whispered words. "Are you telling me someone somewhere with a greater need than the people of Moja called and now possess the heart of Inamdi?" The High Diviner leaned in until her lips were just above Mejibu's ear and replied, "Yes." Through gritted teeth, the Dainu asked, "But can you get it back?" A cold, motionless smile spread on the High Diviner's face.
With time, I believe I can locate the heart of Nnamdi, and once located, I can reclaim it. I have no other option.
The Dainu, disappointed, turned and gave Jawele a genuine look of concern. He returned his gaze to the High Diviner and spoke slowly to make his words to her very clear. No, you do not. To be continued.